The recoil spring pulls the starter rope back into the starter when starting the engine. After years of use, the recoil spring will wear and eventually break. The spring will typically break at one of its ends, where it attaches to the pulley or the housing. This wear can be accelerated by using excessive force when pulling on the starter rope, or if the starter rope is routinely pulled out to its full length. When the recoil spring breaks, it won't retract the rope back into the starter. Replacing the recoil spring is a repair that you can do yourself, and I'm going to show you how.
Hi, I'm Mark Soja.
Do-it-yourself repairs like these are easier than you might think. From lawn machines to cordless drills, kitchen mixers,
Outdoor grills.
our how-to videos walk you through each repair from start to finish. So doing it yourself means never having to do it alone.
Let's get started.
I'll begin by removing the starter from the engine. With the starter assembly removed, I can begin disassembly of it. I'll pull the starter rope out, double it over, and tie a knot. Now I'll remove the cap from the top of the starter handle. I'll pull the knotted rope away from the handle and untie the knot. Now I'll remove the starter handle and untie the knot I previously tied in the middle of the rope. Now I'll allow the rope to recoil up into the starter. Next, I'll remove the screw in the center of the starter. And I'll carefully pull the pulley away from the starter assembly. I want to be sure that the spring isn't stuck to the underside of the pulley, as that'll allow it to come free from the starter housing. With the pulley removed, now I can carefully remove the old spring. Now I can install the new spring. The spring is shipped with a wire retainer around it. I'll align the hook on the end of the spring with the slot in the housing. Now I'll push the spring down, which will remove the wire retainer, and I'll carefully hold it in place, allowing it to expand into the housing. Now I can begin reassembling the starter. I'll uncoil the rope from the pulley. I'll insert the rope through the notch on the side of the pulley and then place it back into the starter housing. As I drop it into the housing, I need to make sure that I loop the hook on the end of the spring around one of the notches in the center of the pulley. I'll check to make sure that the pulley caught the spring, and that looks good. Now I'll reinstall the coil spring and the cap, and I'll secure it with the screw. Now I need to retension the spring. I'll rotate the pulley counterclockwise until it stops rotating. As I do this, I'll be careful that I keep the rope hooked into the notch on the side of the pulley. When the pulley will rotate no more, I'll back it off until the rope is aligned with the opening in the pulley housing. Then I'll thread the rope through that opening and again tie a knot in the center of the rope. Now I can reinstall the starter handle. I'll tie a knot on the end of the rope. And with the handle reassembled, now I can untie the knot in the center of the rope. And I'll allow the rope to recoil back into the starter. And I'll finish up by reinstalling the starter. And that's all it takes to replace the recoil spring in your small engine. Be sure to check back often for new videos and expert advice. If you found this video helpful, give us a thumbs up.
And leave a comment.